Okay guys, this package just came in. I got a little bit of daylight left, so I want to do the unboxing now so you get the honest review. Actually, I'm wearing a Psycho at the moment, but that doesn't matter. Let's see what GMT watch came in the mail. I'm very curious. Let's have a look what we got in this box. It's a surprise for me as well. Haven't seen it, of course. There we go. That is a, yeah, really nice. It's hand signed. I will not show you my name, but it's hand signed by Mr. Ward himself. Look, really nice touch. I wonder how many people at Patek would do that. Very personal touch. I will go into it later because that's what I really liked about the watch. Oh, nice cloth, piece of cloth to wipe your watch with. That's okay, don't need it. This is the book how to operate the bloody thing. And there we get to the unboxing itself. So the box is like a rubber, thick rubber kind of box. And then there it is, the moment of truth. So let's go. I'm ready. Oh, nice. Oh, yes. Oh, that is a small watch. I love it. I love it. It's a fucking small, great watch. Oh, how nice. Here we go. And I'm happy. Yes, the ceramic bezel is green. English racing green. Wonderful. GMT English racing green with a, yeah, an orange, I'm Dutch, with an orange GMT hand. Does it get any better than that? Wonderful. Okay guys, the review's coming up soon. This was the unboxing. God fucking hell, this is a nice watch. I wish I had one. Good morning everyone! Look what I'm wearing. The Christopher Ward GMT Trident C60 38mm. Now it came in yesterday. Let me get the case. So there it is, the case. Now first of all, Christopher Ward, the brand itself. This might be a long video though. The brand itself, Christopher Ward, is a brand that there were three guys. Let me just get it up here on the computer so I can actually more or less read it to you, so you don't have to go to the website yourself. Now this is the history of Christopher Ward, and it's all readable on their site. I'll go through one or two things I find very interesting. Christopher Ward, it says the story so far. It says, we are an English watchmaker with a simple aim. We want to put premium quality watches within the reach of everyone. It starts up saying, it was founded on a boat on the River Thames in 2004, the brand, by three guys, Mike France, Chris Ward and Peter Ellis. Now, they knew how it was to own a nice luxury timepiece, but they also knew what the marketing schemes were and what people were making on profits in that area. So that's what I say here. They wanted to make one where the value for money is without question, a Swiss watch. Then, having learned from insiders in the Swiss watch industry how the pricing model works, being made up of marketing overseas, celebrity endorsements, sponsorships, and pre-internet age distribution model, the three friends, so the three founders of Christopher Ward, set out on a mission to turn the industry on its head and create a revolution in watchmaking. They had a simple aim to put premium grade watches within the reach of everyone, like I said earlier. That was on June 4th, 2005. They made 2 watches. Now, then there's a whole story about the internet. What happened is they started for themselves, distributing stuff from 2005 up, and people were talking about it on forums and on Time Zone forum, and that's where a Dutch guy called Hans van Hoogstraten contacted them to make a website for them. And there was an Australian professor, Dave Malone. He'd seen the C5 automatic Christopher Ward, and his idea, he was writing for Time Zone, and his idea was to expose Christopher Ward as fraudsters on that website, because they were making a watch for a price that's not possible to make a luxury watch. And the opposite happened. He liked the watch so much, he started to endorse the watch on that website. So suddenly they were, let me just check here. Michael Sandler was then the moderator of Time Zone Forum, but of whom we had no knowledge. They didn't even know Time Zone existed at that time, decided they should be paying for the publicity they were getting. And then they started the Christopher Ward Forum, which from there on has been one of the most successful forums on watch community in general. So, then they got Jörg Bader. He was the founder of Synergies Horlogeries, if that's my best French. My German is better. And, you know, he joined the club, and together with Johannes Janke, which is a talented young watchmaker, they made their own in-house movements, the JJ calibers, the Caliber SH21. So, and they merged, and now they're internationally recognized. It says in May 2015, Christopher Ward achieved a position of 77th in the inaugural Sunday Times BT Business SME Export Track number 100. We are the only British watch brand to feature in this ranking of the top 100 SME exporters. They're on 77. Good job, guys. Good job. So that's the story about them, and then it goes on of why Christopher Ward. Well, again, they want every person to be able to wear a luxury timepiece, and honestly, I will go into the whole stuff later, but this is much better than an RMR, and I would say, having seen the Steinhardts as well, this is just pretty far up above Steinhardt. Steinhardt. And also the Psycho XK-X007 I think I got from Simon. Honestly, guys, it doesn't come close to the quality of a Christopher Ward. Now, first of all, just one last thing about before we go into the watch itself. With so many, why Christopher Ward? And it says here, with so many watch brands, why to choose Christopher Ward? Well, all the watches are made in Switzerland. They have a unique business model that puts the customer directly in touch with the watchmaker and takes out all the expensive middlemen, boutiques, distribution centers, and all that kind of shit. They apply fair margins to their cost prices, and they're open about that, which results in honest pricing. They charge like 3 times the amount they pay to make it, and not 20 times the amount they pay to make it. Yeah, no celebrities, no sponsorships, no Formula One, no football shirts. You know, those things cost ridiculous amounts of money, and you're paying that when you buy your Rolex. You're paying for whatever kind of celebrity is asked to tell you what it's about. And the customer care is great. Well, We'll find out the customer care, because when it came in, if you see the watch here, you can see that pin is not really nice. Now that is because I bent it back myself, because the pin was like a V shape. I hardly could get it off the band, and when I put it on, I hardly could get the watch off my wrist because it was just bent. And I think it's a factory error, because the rest of the watch is great, so it didn't banged into something that it happened. So it's probably a production error. I sent already an email to them. I'm expecting to get an email back today, as well as I expect to get a aftermarket strap, because honestly guys, this strap for me is a bit crap. I don't really see the I know what they tried to do with a bit of an orange looking leather kind of a strap on the green with the GMT hand, but honestly the quality of the leather is just it's no Hirsch. Let me say, like, it's not a Hirsch. So anyway, put this back on the wrist. I'll take it off later, and I'll show you what it's all about. Yeah, that's what I said. And the strap is just a bit dodgy. I don't really enjoy this strap. It's a bit flimsy, a bit cheapish. Which is interesting, because they say the strap, the bracelet is also a little bit less quality. But then again, tip from me to you guys: if you buy a watch, don't look at the strap. Just look at if you can replace the strap. You don't want to have some kind of a rubber integrated strap that you can't replace, because then you're fucked. But if you buy any watch with just normal 20, 22 or 80mm lugs, don't care about what strap is on there. You can buy straps for 12, 13 euros. And if you really got a nice watch, you pay 80 euros and you buy a nice alligator strap in a discount. So you'll be okay with that. Although straps are very important, because it changed the whole looks of the watch. When the other strap for this one comes in, I'll show you what I mean. So the box, Christopher Ward. Box opens, and then you get all the paperwork and a piece of cloth. You can see a piece of cloth that you can use. There we go. And what I really liked, they address the invoice and a welcome letter to your own name. So it says, "Dear Mr. Guido Pelagos," and it's signed by Mr. Christopher Ward himself. Comes with the invoice. One sloppy error. I checked it on the order, and when I ordered it, I spelled my name correctly, and they misspelled my name at the invoice, which meant that my name is misspelled in the personal message by Christopher Ward. It said, "Dear Mr. Guido Pelagos." Well, it doesn't say Pelagos, but the error is with an extra R that isn't in my name. But anyway, it's a very friendly, personal touch, and I don't really mind that they had this little sloppy error in a name, because you know what's in a name. It's just something you look when somebody calls it to you, right? That's where a name is for. But it's the most important word in one's own vocabulary. It's the word that they always react to, is their own name, which is a strange thing. But it's the most important word in a language for anyone. It's their own name. It's just the way it is. It's not being posh or whatever. It's just the way it is. So I wrote some stuff down, because you know this Ward watch, I want to do a nice review, so that's what I'm doing now. And just have a look at the watch itself. You know, it's a 38mm. A great thing about this watch, guys, I bought this in the January sale. Now normally this watch is £799, which is £800. January sale, watches 50% off. So I got this for £400, which is 550 euros, which is 625 bucks. And I'm just absolutely amazed at what you get for that price. So this is the Pelagos, and this is the Ward. You can see it's a bit smaller. This is 42, this is 38mm. But honestly, I love the smaller size. Now, I was more or less forced to buy it smaller because they didn't have a 42mm with the green bezel and the orange GMT hand. I'll buy that one. And coming in, it's almost a dress watch. Now I understand again why people buy 38mm watches. Why they buy dress watches, vintage watches. Datejust for 36mm, which is even smaller. Smaller than 38mm. I would say you definitely would need a dress watch to get away with it. But this diving watch, 38mm, for me it's exactly on the sweet spot. My wrist isn't very big. It's like 6.7 inches. So it's, I think, a little bit less than 70 centimeters circumference. But look at how this watch, look how that looks on the wrist. Is that small? It doesn't feel that small, honestly. You see, if I'm just walking around and this is my watch, that's not really small, is it? So, no need to think it's small. Now, what I truly love about this watch is that it has a white face. As you can see here, it's got a white face. And if you hold it vertically, I don't know why, but then you can see the wave pattern better. Let me just focus it here. There we go. You can see wave pattern. Wave pattern is easier to check when it's on the side. I don't know why, but there you can see the wave pattern very clearly. Now you can see the wave pattern here as well. So as you can see, it's got the orange GMT hand. Well, I'm Dutch, guys, so an orange GMT hand for a Dutch guy is great. When you go on holiday, you have your hometown in the color of your country or of your royal family, honestly. And it has a green, English racing green bezel, which I think is marvelous. So you got the green with the orange and the white. Marvelous combination. Although I have about 10 to 20 different straps and leather straps and stuff, I can't find the right strap for this watch. So, yeah, this is a strap coming in. That's also a Christopher Ward strap. I think that will be much better. Oh, that coffee. But, so, for the moment, it will be on this one because this is the best strap I have. I've put it on several other straps and bands and leather straps and... you know, the two bests were the NATO and the leather strap that I made a video about earlier, the most versatile straps or something I called it, which is the blue and yellow NATO and the dark brown Hirsch leather strap. The problem with the Hirsch strap is not that it was 22mm, because that will fit into 20. Problem was that it was just too thick. You know, the band was twice the thickness of this band, and with 42mm that's not a problem. But when you go into a watch that's 38mm, it becomes a bit problematic to get away with it. I saw a picture of a Trident versus a Tudor Black Bay Red. I think they're the same quality. The case, I think, for the Tudor is nicer. Might be better. The bezel probably is nicer on the Tudor, but honestly, the dial, the crown, and the back side of the case, I think, is better on the Ward. So this is, as a Tudor owner, I think I'm allowed to say that the Christopher Ward is Tudor quality. And that is very special, especially for what you get. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Are you going to lose money on a Tudor, on a Christopher Ward? Well, the problem with Christopher Ward, it sounds a little bit like Michael Kors. So you got to have somebody who knows about watches and can appreciate watches and actually can see that it is a... Well, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to see that this is a quality watch. So this watch will sell itself. They don't do sponsorships, they don't do Formula Ones and actor sponsoring and all that shit, because they know this watch will sell itself. And that's because they're not making a big price. and they're putting affordable luxury into the hands of everybody. Now, this is exactly the reason why Archie Luxury will hate this watch, because this is actually affordable luxury. And okay, it's not a Rolex, it's not close to a Rolex, I don't pretend this to be a Rolex, but it is a luxury watch that anybody can wear. So if you have like 25 Rolexes and you have this one as a beta watch, nobody would look down on you that you're wearing a beta watch, because you're actually wearing a pretty nice, damn good timepiece. So yeah, Archie Luxury will loathe this watch, because this is affordable luxury, and you know, it has to hurt, it has to be 2 months of salary and stuff. Hey, if you wanna pay the pretty people on television, you buy your Rolex. Otherwise, anyway, talking about the Tudor Black Bay, I saw a Glycine Combat sub, I think it was, with the red bezel. Now I like the Glycine watches, the dive watches. I think are nice, but this red one, maybe I'll put a photo up. This red one was a blatant copy of a Tudor Black Bay in red. I mean, yeah. So this watch is more or less Omega Oris territory, at least Oris territory. I mean, the quality is that high. Now these guys, they have access to the best machines and factories in Switzerland. Their neighbors are Rolex, Omega and Breitling, so they're in good company where they make their watches. I just wonder if they don't have any screws, they'll just drop in at Rolex and saying, hey man, I just need a few screws, can you give them to me? Anyway, so like I said before, the orange Dutch GMT hand, I mean, that's just marvelous. I mean, that's, for me personally, that's just great. The green racing bezel, I think, is great as well. I really hoped it would have the green bezel and not the black, because I still want to get the Seiko SGBX 115, which has a black bezel, and I don't want it to be too much of the same thing. There was some critic on this watch that the bezel... yeah, let's talk about the bezel. Now, I'm just completely spoiled with the Pelagos. I mean, nothing comes close to the Pelagos bezel. I mean, it's fully loomed, it's ceramic, it's an all-nighter loom, and then you get to this, and it's 120, and it just goes a little bit tougher. Honestly, the bezel is like 10 times the bezel, 10 times as good as the bezel on the RMR. I would say 5 times as good, or 5 to 10 times as good as the bezel on the Seiko SKX, and it's at least twice as good as the bezel on the Steinhardt. It is nowhere near the Tudor bezel, so it's probably nowhere near a Submariner bezel or whatever, but it is a great bezel. There's no wiggle in it. Honestly, I think the detailing on a 38mm watch is nicer to look at than a 42mm watch. So I think I'm lucky with this watch, that because it's that small, it even looks more refined. Now they did, of course, sacrifice the 3 o'clock hour marker on the GMT 38mm version. That hour marker is present on the 42mm version, but hey, if that's the thing, I don't really mind. Text is written on the dial. It says Trident GMT 600 meter 1200 foot automatic, Swiss made, Christopher Ward, London. Somebody asked him why not put the logo from the side. It will not focus. The logo from the side on the dial instead of putting Christopher Ward on the dial. I don't mind. I don't really enjoy the logo that much, so I like that it says Christopher Ward on the dial. And yesterday, when it was, I think it was a few minutes before 11 or a few minutes before 12, I'll try and make a picture of it, because probably Christopher Ward and some other guys who like Christopher Ward would like to see that, because it was near 12, the minute and hour hands obscured the R and the W. So if you put CHR and then Ward, so you get CHRWARD, and you take out the R and the W, and then it says Ord. So in my mind immediately it filled in an O and a P, and then it suddenly says Chopard. So when it's around a little bit to 12 and the hour and the minute hands are just in front of the R and the P, R and the W, you can say you got a Chopard on your wrist. It was funny. It was like, Chopard? No, it's Christopher Ward. Anyway, what do we have more? Yeah, the overall feel of the watch is just brilliant. I mean, really, really nice. Yeah, the eBay guy. Now, what we all do is when you get a watch like this, you go online and you go and check everywhere to see what everybody's doing with their watches, and if there's a review or a video of pictures. And I found the guy who bought this watch probably a week before I did, a few days before I did, got it in, and immediately set it on eBay for £185 profit. So he bought it for £400, put it on eBay and tried to sell it for £585. Saying like, yeah, sorry, it's too small for me. Which is bullshit, of course, because he could have sent it back and get his money back. Because the watch was from January 2016. So he just wanted to make a quick buck, £185 buck. So I couldn't leave it alone, and I'll send him a message like, hey mate, trying to make a quick buck. I just bought the same watch you were trying to sell for a profit for yourself. I know you're trying to make 185 bucks over somebody's back. And he sent back, yeah, you probably don't know anything about eBay yet. And I was like, oh yeah, sure mate, make your buck. I mean, I would feel probably pissed off if I buy a watch for close to £600 and find out that while it originally was 800, you could get it from their own website with a guarantee and everything for 400. But the guy had a pretty good standard of selling, so I'm not sure if it's still on there. He took it off and he put it back on. So I'm not putting his name up and stuff. I'm just gonna put the pictures up of how it looked. So anytime when you see something on eBay, just check the original site as well, because sometimes they're just trying to make a quick buck, and that's a bit I don't like that one. So, and I must say that I think this Christopher Ward is an upcoming brand. This brand will be very popular, I would say, in about 5 to 10 years time. Like, this is what Tudor has been doing the last few years. I think Christopher Ward is going to do the same thing, because I'm not a person who would buy a watch of a brand name that I didn't hear of, if it's going to be a luxury or a high-end watch. You know, the Zenith, the Tudor, the Omegas. You know, you buy a good luxury watch. You know, you buy something good, and then you go into a Christopher Ward and you go like, Christopher Ward, what's that? Sounds like a boutique watch. Sounds like a Sin. Sounds like a Glycine, a Hamilton. Those kinds of brands. You know, and but it's actually, I would put it next to Oris. And don't get me wrong. I mean, this brand uses gold plating on some of their watches. I've had a look around their other watches, which I think is completely crap. I think that the majority of their other watches is just, I don't really understand them. I don't like them. I find them ugly. There's some quartz watches in there that I really don't understand. But the Trident, my suggestion to Christopher Ward is ditch all the other watches and make that Trident, and make similar watches to that, like one dress watch, the Trident, and maybe one other pilot watch, and ditch all the other gold-plated fucking 90-pound dog shit microwave two-tone quartz watches. You know, I just think that it's those watches, in my opinion, are keeping the company back. So they might bring in some money or some profit. But for people to see the brand for what it actually can be, if you look at the Trident, you gotta get rid of the shit of the bulk, because a lot of those lower end watches, personally, I think are just horrible to look at. Yeah, there was another guy who sent it back. He thought it was too small. Well, you know, it's like the same like in-house size. It's in the head. You know, if you like 38mm, you wear your 38mm. It's personally, for me, it's a sweet spot within my collection as well. I got 42mm dive watch, the Pelagos. So having a 38mm GMT with a dive 24-hour bezel, as you can see, this is a diving and a GMT bezel. For me, it works brilliant. I can imagine if you're a frequent diver or a frequent traveler, you might want to have a really to-the-point GMT or diver. But since I don't really care for GMT and already have a diver and I wanted a GMT, this for me was a no-brainer. And it's a little bit of a dress watch. You know, when you go traveling, when you go abroad, if you're not going abroad on holiday, you often dress nicer. You have better clothes with you, because when you go abroad not for holiday, it's often for business or for congress or for a symposium or whatever. So you might want to look nice, and I think you can't bring your whole wardrobe with you. So a watch like the Trident, I think, is a brilliant watch for that. It will give you the kudos. It's not a shouter, but it will show the people that you actually know what you're buying. Honestly, if I see somebody walking around now with a Christopher Ward Trident, maybe the 38mm GMT or the 42mm or whatever, or even a World Timer, which is a great watch, I'm much more intrigued about how they came to that choice than the 1 million gazillionth billionth Italian father with his wife and 2 kids wearing the black Rolex Submariner with the Cyclops date. You know, overall 2015, maybe I'll do a video about it. I counted what kind of watches I saw with what kind of people, and it's interesting because you, at one point, like my watchmaker said, somebody comes in, you can say, ah, that's a Panerai guy, that's a Rolex guy, that's an Omega guy. Now, there's some brands that you cannot bring back to a person, like Breguet and stuff, but you can actually get them pretty well sorted out. I mean, if I see an Italian dad coming in somewhere in his 40s with a wife and 2 kids, I know he's wearing a black Submariner. That is the black Submariner watch. 40-year-old, 50-year-old Italian guy with a wife and 2 kids. Probably his only watch. And you know Italians want to look good, so they got the Ray-Bans, they got the Submariner, they know their style. But that's where it stops. There is no in-depth going into the horology. So therefore, it's not for the movement, but therefore when I see somebody wearing something off, like a Tudor or a Ward or a vintage piece or something like that, I'm much more interested than somebody wearing around his Daytona. Anyway, getting off the topic here. So the back of the watch has this beautiful Trident, which is logical, of course. Really nice engraved. Really looks nice. Has a lot of good features. It's good and it's even numbered. It says Swiss made and then it says number. Mine says something like 386, something like that. Really nice. I gotta stop saying nice. Oh no. Anyway, that's another one. So there's some criticism, of course. There is always criticism. Oh man, it's just then can have a bit old edges. Don't know what it says. I only know what I like is that the bezel doesn't come over the case like in the Pelagos, so there's no chance of when you fall the bezel can come off. So this is actually, you can bump this into anything. Yeah, and honestly guys, if this is a problem, the diving bezel or whatever, you know, who goes diving nowadays with a mechanical watch? The mechanical watch is a backup for your computer watch or for what's kind of a computer is mounted up on your gauge system. So it's nice to want to have this perfectly watch with a perfect lume and the automatic, but in general, if you're really big deep sea diver, you'll have a computer and this will be your backup. So I don't think you have to worry that much about the bezel or about the readability and stuff. You know, I had this argument about, I put this the Speedmaster video up and said, you know, you want to have the automatic version or the hand wind, who cares? And somebody says, well, wait a minute here. The reason why it was manually wound, Speedy, was that the automatic in space, there is no gravity, so it wouldn't turn, so it wouldn't wind the watch. That's the reason why they didn't have an automatic version. And then I thought, okay, well, there is something that might decide for me to buy a hand wind instead of an automatic, because then you're talking about the movement, and you know, it's not a 3-2-1, but it's a 8-6-1 or 18-6-1 movement in the modern speedies. But if the functionality as how it should work in space doesn't work as it is on Earth at all, as much as I like automatics, and I don't care what kind of Speedmaster you wear, like I said in the video, with that hindsight, I might not choose the automatic Speedy, simply because it wouldn't work in space. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going into space. Doesn't mean that with your Tudor Pelagos you go down 500 meters, or with the Trident you go down 600 meters. But at least it should work for 100 meters, right? At least you should be able to wear your dive watch in the pool, or whenever you go somewhere, when you don't have to think about it. And if for any reason, whatever, we're able to go to space in 25 years time, you're wearing your Speedy and you find out it doesn't work because you got the type that isn't the original movement that should work in space, then you got a point. So thank you for pointing that out in my last video. It was very handy, thank you. So I think we get to the end of the line. There we are. Absolutely stunning watch. I love it. Okay guys, see you later. Ciao, bye. Hello everyone. This is later in the day. I still got some daylight left, so I'm making this video pretty quickly. I got two straps in. One aftermarket strap and one strap from AliExpress. Now, firstly, the aftermarket strap by Christopher Ward, which I thought would be blue. Now this is clearly black, and it's kind of a polished, how do you say, shiny leather. And I can show you how it will look on the watch. Oh, sorry, put it like this. And it's okay, but it's not to my liking. It's not what I thought I would get a blue one in. So I'll be sending this back, and I might even change it to an orange one, or ask my money back. Because for the price, like I said, with the other leather band that came standard with it, I'm not really sure. I'm not really a fan of their straps, honestly, as far as I can tell. So this black lacquered leather genuine strap is going back, because for the price I don't really enjoy the quality, and it's not the color I think I ordered. Well, that might be my mistake, because it was in the discounted version, so maybe I overlooked that it said it was only in black. So that could well be my mistake, guys. I'll be sending this back, and I'll let you know what happened. I haven't heard back from Christopher Ward yet about the pin in the buckle when I got it in. It's not that it's a very important thing, because I solved the problem. But this one's going back. And also because in the meantime a AliExpress clasp came in, which just brings it right home, in my opinion. This is the strap that it comes on now. It's got a deployment buckle and everything. I think this leather strap, which is also genuine leather, did cost me 12 euros, around 15 bucks. You'll see the pictures in the start video. It is absolutely great looking, and the quality is, with the other leather band I got on the Candino, it's just astonishing. It is just so nice. Let me just turn my arm a little bit. There it is. It's just such a nice little watch, especially on this band. So I'm gonna go back to the site of Christopher Ward and see if they can find me something find me something that will work. Another green, or maybe even the orange one that goes together with the strap. But the way it comes on this band, I absolutely adore it. I'm very happy with that. So very cool. There was a few things I didn't touch in the other video, which what I'll do now so that I can upload everything hopefully tonight. It's going to be close. Oh yeah, let me know this video. Well, it's nice to say it at this point in the video, but if you're a diehard viewer, you'll still be watching at this time. So, my question to you: what do you think of the quality of this video? Now, not necessarily the lighting or the, but more or less the pixels. It's supposedly be HD, and what I do is with this, and I've done it with the last one as an experiment. I change it from HD to Windows Movie Maker video, because it saves me about 4 times the size. If I have to upload 4 gigabytes or 1 gigabyte, it saves me about 2 days. So otherwise you'll just get the videos with like 2 days later. You wouldn't notice, but I'm enthusiastic, you know. I want to tell about this watch, and it will be 2 days later. I might want to add something up and edit it to shreds or something. So normally what I do, I upload. I have been editing more of my videos though lately, but not as much as some people do. Anyway, there is an old versus a new Christopher Ward generation. Now, this is something I didn't touch in the first video. I'll briefly do it now because I never saw an original Christopher Ward. I only saw this one, and it's the first one that I'm seeing now. What I do have seen in on YouTube is that the first generation is a great watch, but is not near the second generation. It's not the same watch. You're talking about apples and pears. Of course, it's got all the same ingredients, but yeah, it's like a not knowing the vintage worth, but it's like a Submariner from the 80s and a Submariner now. You know, it's just different in build and machinery and stuff. Like I said, the straps, I will not go into that any further. They're not to my liking. I'll see if I can find another one for the price, and otherwise I'll just ask my money back. Sorry guys, I love the watches, but I'm not really keen on the straps, or I might buy something else. I really enjoy the watches, and might even get the World Timer at one point, because I think the World Timer by Christopher Ward is also a bloody good watch, especially since it's been modified and therefore more or less in-house. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, the movement. It's got a 2893/2 movement in there. It's a GMT movement. Now, ETA is not putting out a lot of spare parts to third parties. And the GMT by ETA already is becoming a bit rare. So, this will be serviceable, but in GMT watches they're quite... supposedly they're quite hard to build, or a movement to do that quite correctly or chronometrically. So one shouldn't be ashamed to have an ETA in their watch, especially not in a few years' time. Like I said, ETA 2893/2. I checked it. I have the watch now for about 24 hours. I put it on the wrist, wind it fully. It is 5 seconds fast a day at the moment, which is great, because that means like every week I'll just put it half a minute back. So that's wonderful. Okay guys, I see I got 1 minute left on my memory card. I don't think I need it. I just want to show you the watch one more time. It is absolutely a lovely watch to look at. I'm very happy with it, and I can just say to anyone, get a Christopher Ward. I don't know about the bracelet, which is supposedly not all that good. I only know about the straps, which I didn't really enjoy, but it doesn't really matter, because this is a very, very nice, good looking watch. And if I take it off, you can see the back of the watch. I can show you the Trident one more time. Oh, like this. And then I'll leave it with that, and I'll wish you all the best, guys. Enjoy your watches. May it be a Casio or a Patek, but I'm gonna enjoy this one. Fuck yeah. Ciao, bye. Yes, hello everyone. Quick message before I go out the door. I just received a message from Christopher Ward. They're sending me a buckle for free. Within 3 to 4 hours, they're letting me know. Sorry, new buckle is on its way. Very impressive.